Hey, all my YouTube friends. I'm down in the art room again. It's been a while since I posted, just had a lot going on. Life gets busy sometimes. But just over this weekend, I did two kiln runs, two different firings. One firing was at a cone 6. Those are my pieces that I made that I'll show you. Some of them have been shown in other videos as far as when I threw them and before they were glazed, bisqued, and things like that. The second kiln opening was at a cone 05 that had a 10-minute hold after the firing. Those are the pieces of my different students. So I will show you those. I also did a couple demos for my students that I'll kind of show you the results. Explain how I did those and how they did them and what happened. So with that, I'm going to pick the camera up and show you what I got, starting with my things. Okay, I just real quickly scan these. These are mine. These are all thrown on aardvark. It's called Cafe Cinco. It's a cone 5 clay. It also has a lot of grog in it, so it comes up with a very kind of a medium brown color by itself. It's not white, and then it also has a lot of sand in it, so you get some speckling especially. So to start with, over here I made a few. Our classroom, we were running low on stilts, so I just made a few. I took some clay, bought a roll of the NiCad wire, or nichrome wire, excuse me, and just made my own. The little dots in the middle were helping me keep track to know that these were fired up to cone 5. And also the dot just went to show that was a red that was a stroking coat tamale. I think it was hot tamale, but with the darkness in the clay, I only put a drop kind of dots. I didn't put multiple coats, so you get a little bit of an orange because of the clay underneath. Here's a close-up of the clay. I don't know how well you can see, but it's kind of a medium brown, and it does have speckles in it from the grog and sand that's in it. So just so you can see, this is after it's been fired to cone. It's kind of a pinkish color almost once it's bisque fired. Fired to cone 6, though, it did turn brown, more brown than pink. So these are a couple little hooks I made, handmade hooks. To hang some signs in the classroom on for our kiln, so people know when the kiln's running and things like that. So these are just handmade. Again, on these are made out of that same cone 5 clay, but I put, that's a sunshine yellow stroking coat, and as you can see, it kind of almost turned to greenish yellow. And the hearts in the middle are also another hot tamale, but they also picked up that red. Now that's 2 coats yellow, 2 coats red of stroking coat. And they're just kind of reacting with the different color clay. They don't flow or anything because they're very stable glazes, but the color is influenced by the clay underneath. So I did make some different things. I made a couple plates here to basically put underneath my a couple of candles, because they almost were to the point of dripping. So some big, I don't know, 3-inch round candles. So I made these plates just to catch the waxes. I use candles. This was done with a this was a Mako called Galaxy. Usually comes out kind of bluish, but again, it kind of definitely was influenced by the clay, being a brown body clay instead of white. So there is some blue, but it also kind of went to a darkish green, almost an olive green. So, and the crystals opened up. This one's the same glaze, Mako Galaxy. It's a crystalline glaze. Now this one here was a crystalline little shallow bowl. This also was a crystalline glaze, but I added a light flux underneath. I put just some spots around the rim of white light flux, and then covered that with 2 coats of the Galaxy and got that effect. As I move over to these pieces, this little bowl here is not, it's a dark green, Amico, dark green on that dark body. And again, there's a little bit of crystal effect. This little teacup and saucer, what this is a combination of a dark green around the rim and on the bottom, the glazed part of the edges of the bottom, and the cup here as well. Let me turn it this way, I don't know. So it's dark green, and then there's an ancient copper that is also put on this glaze. So you get the green with the copper. The main thing I did that for is because I wanted to highlight this bird feeder that I made. There's a video of me making this when it's in the drying stage, and so this is now after the final bisque firing and the final firing to cone 6. Again, the bottom part here, the top is the dark green, the knob on top is the ancient copper. I put flux on the top of the knob and around the rim of the lid. I also put dark light flux around the rim here. And the bottom part is the copper, ancient copper by Amico. The top, I put about a third to a half of the green, dark green stoneware glaze over the top of the copper. And in some places you can see the white color, and that's where the flux actually moved the green down onto the copper. And so that's how that came out. I like it. I'm going to hang it in a tree in front of my house, and I'll get it hung up there and see how the birds like it. Okay, we're going to move now on to just some of my students' work. This one is a little llama that one of the ladies painted up. It came out good. This cow, again, another student made it. Now I can tell that, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some black that's kind of gotten dragged into the white part. So I'm thinking she put the black on first, then went around with the white, and either didn't clean the brush enough or some of the black got mixed into the white. It actually kind of gives it a nice effect. It's not pure white, which is, I don't mind it at all. But again, if that's what you're wanting, a pure white, you need to be careful of using a brush, especially in contrasting colors like black and white. That's easy to drag the black into the white, and it will definitely show up. So these are a couple handmade little ladybugs that I helped one of my students. She wanted to learn how to, she wanted some ladybugs, so I just said, well, let's make them. So there they are. That same student did this swan, or flamingo, I guess I should say. I keep mixing it up. So this has hot tamale on it. It has some oranges, colors, and some others. These are all stroke and coat, I believe, and no clear glaze over the top. So it came out nice. This bowl, I don't know, it's about 15-inch in diameter. It's a shallow plate, I guess. Bowl, I don't know. Shallow bowl, whatever. This is a Galaxy, no, excuse me, low fired with jungle gems. One of my neighbors, she's got these really oversized cups and these platters that she's decorated, and so she's going to make kind of a stand with a platter on the cup and then another platter and a cup, and kind of stack them outside on her patio. So she's done 3 different plates, and each one uses a little different of the gems, jungle gems, but all of them seem to have somewhat of an orange coming out through all of them. Now I skipped over a couple, I'll go back to them. I made this just using this tile as a demo. I used this with 4 different colors of the old Duncan underglazes, the CN products. And then this only has 1 coat of clear over the top of it. Now I used this next tile as the actual, in the classroom I showed them. I had the same colors that I used. I did kind of over in this corner. I showed them how I overlapped and did the, just using a fingerprint to get that effect. Over here, this is more of a kind of a fingerprint where you swirl like you did in kindergarten, a finger painting. And then down here I actually speckled. I dried some of that underglaze, let it completely dry on wax paper. Then I crinkled it up and kind of crushed it up and made chunks of it, small chunks, and just sprinkled them on the top. This plate is just those crinkled up pieces. Gives you kind of a speckling effect. I like it. The thing is, I found is that there's some crawling, especially where the big chunks may have been. I really think there was just too much at once. So we got these voids that showed up because of that, the crawling. Now, one of my students took it to another level. She loves to try stuff. So this is a tile she did, and she put those sprinkles on a lot heavier than I did. So overall, the pattern kind of is nice, but where the big chunks were that weren't really smashed up enough of the underglaze, they were kind of large chunks, she got quite a bit of crawling as a result of it just being too much. And I'm not sure, I know it has clear, but I'm not sure. She also did a tile where she did the thumbprints and kind of made a pattern of like a balloons or whatever connected with string, where that's her thumb and fingerprints, different sizes, using some different glazes, or underglazes I should say, she did this. And then she went on and did this one to kind of represent a flower. You can kind of see some different things. These are all underglazes and then covered by a clear glaze over the top that she made on this tile using those fingerprints and then brushing the stems of the flowers and things like that. And over here we have a little Easter egg. We had to refire this one. We had a little bit of a problem on the rim between the 2 halves, but it was able to be corrected. This was a refire. It's all good now. A couple places that needed to be touched up, but touched up and refired. Everything came out good. This pirate here is again just another painting. I'm not sure what glazes, underglazes were used here, or what the lady was actually doing, how many coats or anything. So I'm not sure why the blue and the red are only kind of in the texture. They really didn't stick to the whole body. But again, that may be a matter of how thick she put it on or didn't put it on, as well as what type it was, if it ran or just moved because of the glazes or the type of glazes into the texture. And then these are a couple more I've talked about and shown some of these before. The shaving cream, again, this egg and those 2 cups are all the shaving cream method. We did a different type of shaving cream this time. I bought a very inexpensive can at Dollar Tree. When we put it out, we noticed it seemed like it had a lot more water in it. When we put the underglazes on top of it, I don't know, it didn't really react necessarily, but it just almost seemed like it diluted the underglazes to an effect. So it didn't come out quite as brilliant. I still like them personally, the marbling effect you get. I like it. But the person that did it, I think she'll be pleased with these, but she was hoping not as much white and more of the underglaze to come through. Okay, that's it for that kiln opening. I've got some more projects. I'll put this video up. Like I said, this was actually 2 kiln openings. One at a 05 cone, all the low fire things. And then my pieces that you saw first were a cone 6 firing. So, and looking at different glaze reactions and things like that. So, I hope you liked this video. If you like it, let me know. Leave me a comment, like it, push the thumbs up on the video itself. If you have any questions, you can leave those in the comments. I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel to see more of these types of things. I do have some other things on my channel, not just pottery, but I'm mainly going to focus the channel on pottery, but every once in a while I'll post some other things that are going on in my life. But until then, I hope you guys all have a blessed day and enjoy, at least here in California, the weather's really warm today. It's kind of nice. Hopefully we're done with having the torrential rains. But I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. So have a great day. Bye.